people, I mean, they get kind of restless, and some of the kids and stuff noise, and you get all this other little noise things. You couldn't hear a word he was saying.
Yeah.
Now Jim Roberts, I could hear him, and Ellis Booth could hear him. Tom Foreman, a little bit was in and out because he would do one of these numbers. Talk over here to someone that's over there. You turn,
Yeah.
and it's just like
And not be talking.
not
into
talking to the
microphone.
mic, you know.
Yeah.
But
I'm set.
and then a couple of the kids that spoke, you could hear what they said, and a couple others you couldn't
Yeah.
because they were either too far away or their voice just doesn't pick up with a microphone or whatever. But it's almost like they need to eat the microphone, you know. But they got it out here.
Well, Dickens taller. Than
Well, and he didn't adjust it at all, and he stood back.
yeah.
You know what I mean? If he had, you know,
No, this is good.
I've never heard of him before.
I would have liked to have heard what he said because some of the kids
Chase said it was good
you know.
message.
I got a bunch of those things for you to take back.
Oh, okay. All right. Chase said it was a good,
Yeah.
a good speech.
Everybody ready?
Start out, let John just go like a wildfire.
Thank you, Cletus. Item number one.
Wait,
bids-
wait. Before we get started, I just want you guys to know we almost had Eddie. Almost.
I felt so bad about not being here tonight.
You got him
I knew-
speechless for a second. He was all.
I knew you would be so depressed if I weren't here. There would be a really negative tone on the whole meeting. So I have a complete time-consuming agenda for it. Anything else, Mike?
Nope, go ahead. Fire away.
Motion to adjourn.
Bids have been received to pave various City of Heath streets. And the bid total is $415,825.96. Bob Geller has asked on behalf of the street committee that I present a legislative request tonight to begin the process for getting legislation through on this. I have it right here. Bob also requests, and this is very important, that when this comes up for first reading, which will be later on in the month, that it be passed on the first reading so we can get the contract out to the bidding company.
Who is Aspires? Have they done anything anywhere
Out of
around?
Lancaster.
Okay. I've never heard of.
They haven't done anything in Heath.
I was gonna say, I don't think they've ever done anything in Newark, that's why I just.
But they do have a good reputation
Do
in
they?
Lancaster from what we have been able to find out.
That's my understanding.
So,
Any connections down there at all?
Not them.
Jeff, you okay?
I'm on this committee. But I'm okay.
Besides me and Jeff.
Well, you wanna know who's on this committee?
yeah.
You got Cletus, you got Brian Johnson.
Brian Johnson.
You okay, Brock, with that?
This little triangle right here.
Power.
Remember, it's just ask Deb.
Any other questions? Okay. Item number two, as most of you are aware, the City of Heath's computers have an old operating system that can't be upgraded. So the departments are in the process of purchasing new computers. I'm not asking for funding to purchase new computers for the zoning department, but I would like to transfer money within the zoning department from one account to another to pay for the computers. So this is a legislative request, asking to transfer money within the zoning department to an appropriate account that I can pay for the computers.
And if it's okay, I'd like to inject now an item on my agenda that is tied with what John's referencing. The data Richard gave.
Services.
They priced computers to us, and if we buy 5, the price per is about 10% less. I can't get anywhere near that kind of a return on these, and Debbie's computer and Linda Richards' computer are both pretty old. Mine also is old, but I'm thinking that I may go ahead and keep mine until a new auditor comes along, or maybe into next year's budget. But I have some of the money to buy these two computers. And when we did the budget, we did not yet know that Microsoft was not going to service XP.
Yeah.
So I didn't budget for them, but I'm pretty sure I can pay for one. But if it's okay with you guys, rather than appropriate the money, I'll just do it in a cleanup ordinance and make one of those accounts end up equaling zero. Is that all right? If you want me to do an appropriation, I can go ahead and do that. But
So you're trying to buy five, how many was John, I mean,
He's
He's
buying
buying
three.
three.
he's buying three and you're
He's
gonna buy two to
buying
make five.
for
So
and
himself,
that way the price
for
will go
Eddie,
down
and for
10%
Jenna.
on all of them.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then the other two will come out of this other line item, but we didn't appropriate it in the budget enough. So what Keith is saying is we'll just go in the red on that and then clean it up in the cleanup ordinance.
How much in the red? Approximately.
What are they? What are they?
Each one.
I'm gonna guess maybe
$1,000?
$800. I think I have
In the
almost
red,
two.
That's it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
they're
what
about-
I'm saying.
They're about
It's not
$1,000
a,
a piece.
it's not a significant sum of
I'm
money.
fine. Yeah,
I wouldn't worry.
$800 is not.
Just remember,
as long,
Keep it easy.
now, you won't get in trouble with the auditors or anything like that for not having the money.
Not
Because
not
we can
unless
do it
we
real
don't take
quick.
care of it.
I'll
in
just,
cleanup
yeah,
ordinance.
we'll run in the red to the end of the year.
Mine is coming out of payroll because Eddie doesn't need the money. He doesn't know.
You, on the other hand,
No, no, that's right.
And we have various computers that are running XP that their processors and their memory do not allow them to be upgraded from XP. So those are the ones that we have to replace. We have other ones that are running XP that we're upgrading because they're newer and strong enough to be able to handle it. We have some that can't be upgraded from
And some of the
XP. So
upgrades coming on.
Microsoft's doing away with their support on XP, which means they're doing away with the security updates on XP, which means we gotta get rid of those computers.
XP, that came out, what, 10 years ago?
Exactly.
It's a good system. Yeah.
Any other questions? Item number 3, when Sergeant Simpson Parkway was put in, it was lined with pin oak trees. And they're a beautiful tree if they grow to maturity. The problem we've had over the last several years is the soil is not really good for supporting pin oak trees. And in this part of Licking County, it's a really common problem that the trees will get nitrogen deficiencies and die. We've already replaced 4 or 5 trees in about the last 10 years. We've replaced them with red oaks instead, which work better. However, we've got more of the pin oaks that are now dying, plus some are already dead. Plus we have a big red maple or Norwegian maple here that's dead. And there is a treatment that you can give to the pin oaks. You actually inject it into them, and it does strengthen them and fortify them. The treatment is done over a 2 to 3 year period, and then you just keep going until you see the leaves turning yellow again, which is what happens. It's a sign that they've got this deficiency, and then you give them the treatment again. It's probably something that we'll have to do on an ongoing basis for years and years to come. Anyway, an estimate to give the treatments to the trees and remove the dead or highly damaged trees that won't survive is $2,500. And what I'd like to do is ask council to appropriate $2,500 into the service budget so that we can hire an arborist to come in here and treat the trees, and then someone to remove the dead trees plus the stumps.
We got all
Does
that done
that
for
somebody at
$2,500.
Dawes or?
Well, there are 2 companies. I've got the quotes back.
You got estimates? That seems very
Yeah.
reasonable.
Yeah. And so, and what we're gonna do with the dead trees is we're going to basically cut them off, and then a lot of people want lumber and wood, we're gonna have them come in and hopefully take them, so we don't have to pay so much to get rid of everything, the trunks and stuff like that.
That works good. My daughter went through that with hooks.
Yeah. It's hard to believe you take something, an injection, and put it into a tree, but they say it works very well.
Hey, John?
Yes?
I think you said they're
Shooting up our
replacing the ones they're
trees.
taking down or not?
No, I didn't.
They're just taking them down.
Well, we're just taking them down now.
Not treating the others.
Yeah, fortunately, the ones we're taking down are at the end.
How many you taking down and how many you treating?
There's there's two that we're taking down, and we're treating all of them.
And this one too, we're taking.
And this
down,
one will make a third. 2 pin oaks plus the Norwegian maple we're taking down.
Okay.
And then we're treating all of the pin oaks. So,
So like these ones, are these pin oaks right here, right out, straight out from us?
the one with the yellow trees is a pin oak, and to the right they're pin oaks. Then to the left is a red oak. You can see it's a lot healthier. So,
What's this dead one here?
this dead one is a Norwegian maple.
Norwegian?
I think that's what they call it.
Couldn't stand the climate of Ohio.
Well, the problem
Couldn't make it,
is, I've had 3 of them on my property, and you've actually burned some of them.
That's right.
And they're also prone to disease in this area.
They've developed a new tree for this area, this part of Ohio too.
Yeah, because the soil conditions and the insects.
You lucky dog,
Oh,
you.
Cleveland pear trees, those flowering pear.
Oh, okay,
And you never have to trim them, they're
nicely shaped. So anyway, if we could, my budget doesn't allow me to do it without going into the. And,
Any more questions? Go ahead, John.
okay, item number 4, continuing our discussion on trees. As you've noticed, there are, I'd say 4, 5, or 6 dead trees in the median. The landscape contractor has finally gotten back with us and has agreed to replace those trees. I'm not sure when it's going to be done yet. I'm guessing within the next 30 days or so. You don't want to do it when you get too late into the summer, or you're going to have to wait until you get to the fall instead. So I'm not exactly sure of the time frame. I just wanted to let you know that the landscape contractor who installed them will be replacing them. It's already agreed to do that.
Under warranty.
Under warranty. And it really does look pretty, with the red, roses and stuff like that. So,
What about the other plants in there, John?
oh, they're doing pretty well so far. Bob Geller, and I need to thank Bob Geller for this. He had some of his people go in and actually weed last week, some of that heat, and it looks a lot better. But the other plant's pretty healthy.
He had Ethan Fleming and Chase Geller are the summertime workers in the street department. That may have been their first day on the job when he had them go out there and do that for 2 days.
their last.
Oh, today?
They did and Dave Pennington helped also, and you don't want to stick either end of you too far out into the turn lane next to the median, but they both did, I thought, a really good job getting the weeding taken care of. It was looking rough, and it took a couple days, but they did a really good job cleaning that up, I thought. Tim, you were asking about the plants? Is that in our department head meeting today? We were talking a little bit about that, and one of the the one that's got those plants that kind of look like tall grass ones.
Yeah.
Bob said that they're growing back. We're going to keep an eye on it this year and just kind of see what works, what doesn't work. Next year we can make adjustments if we want to, after the warranty's done, and we might look to put in some more flower type stuff that has some color. But you either want to go with perennials that you don't have to mess with, or go with annuals if you got somebody who's willing to donate them and be responsible for making it look good. But we'll play with it for a year or two and see.
I was just saying the one in front of Dairy Queen, most of those plants look pretty good, but if you go the other two, you know, it looks
Yeah,
like
the
about half of them
northernmost
are-
one is where all the trees are dead on
Yeah.
that one, I think.
And even, but I mean, even that grass, it looks like, I mean, when you drive by, it just looks like
It's a dry grass,
Done,
and
you know.
it grows at various times.
Yeah. He said that
but
that
the other
it's
ones look
coming
still
back.
good, you know, but I mean, compared to,
Yeah.
you know, it's the same plants there as there, and this
Yeah.
looks like, they look like they're dead.
I would have thought, I mean, I don't know, it's a different kind of plant, I guess maybe it has a different kind of growing cycle. You know how hostas die away and then they come back
Right.
in the spring. I would have expected, I guess, to see some shoots of it already coming back, but Bob says that they're there. I don't take a close enough look when I'm driving by. Pay
Yeah.
attention to the road, I guess.
It's my intent to invite Sertoma to do the landscape maintenance and plantings for us in the near future.
Tim's speechless.
Crickets at the other end of the table and stuff.
I want to hear those crickets.
You invite all you want.
We got it on
Send
camera. Any other questions on that? If not, item number 5, we received a community development block grant to pave a portion of Irvingwood Drive between the railroad tracks and Thurman Drive. That went out to bid a couple of weeks ago. And by the Wickham County Planning Commission, it's a project that they oversee. They got no bids for that project.
Huh?
0 bids, no bids to pave. So they are going to go out again in early July to bid for it. And hopefully, now they're exploring why they didn't get bids. And they had bidders talk to them, or potential bidders, and there was some confusion, or they couldn't get the bids in and stuff like this. So they are anticipating that they will get a couple of bids in next time. What I did too is I suggested to them that they contact the company that we're giving our paving contract to
Yeah.
see, if they could bid on it as well and work that in. So I called them today on that, and we'll see what happens. So what that means is there is a delay in paving that section of road. But maybe if we get lucky,
When will they advertise the bids
in
again?
early July.
They're not gonna advertise until early July.
Well, wait a minute, they'll advertise in June for bid opening in early July.
Okay, alright.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, maybe that Spires paving bid on it, and while they got the stuff here, they can just handle
Yeah,
that.
that's what I'm thinking. So,
Hey, John, where did you say Aspires is from?
Lancaster.
Lancaster.
Yes.
That road is narrower
I'd seen
than most of the streets on the
Yeah, I
road.
know.
Yeah. Well, we found the right of
Looks
way.
like a skinny little residential street.
So, well, anyway, it is. So any questions on that? There's a setback, but I think we can get around it, we might benefit from it. Next item, number 6, is we've had a 4th demolition of a residential structure at 1755 Watson Road. That's, if you know where the old entrance to the Newark garbage dump is, it's right across the street from that. That was demolished about 10 days ago. So, we've had a good year for getting bad houses demolished.
Do we have any more on the schedule?
Well, there's the potential for the one on Licking View Drive, and I've talked
On the north side.
on the north side, and I've talked to the family of the guy that owns the house, and they want to go in and rehabilitate the house.
They've been saying that. Have
Right.
they been doing anything?
Well, they actually got a garbage dumpster out there. They relocated a boat that was there in preparation for it. And I told them what they have to do, and they haven't come in to do it yet, but I think they will, is if they want to, they've got a limited amount of time before the violation expires. And I said if they come in and they set up a series of goals, of checkpoints in regard to improving the house, I will work with them on that. But they have to reach each checkpoint on a particular date that we agreed to.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, fine. If not, when we get to the end of the summer, if they haven't made sufficient progress, then I file for demolition.
Is that what we did with the house that has the Irvingwick, the backyard and all the stuff? Did we do something like that where by this date you need to have this amount done? And
We did, and we actually extended it for them to help them out, and it worked. But they're not done yet. But that's what we do. If someone is making progress on cleaning up something that's really bad, we'll extend the date to give them more time. It's a lot easier to do it that way. It's more beneficial for everyone. And sometimes it works, not all the time. but sometimes it does.
Why don't you update everybody on that property too? You were talking about that a week or two ago with me.
Oh,
That Perry property is written,
that's it, the
Jeff and
Julius.
I was looking at it the other day, and it's looking pretty good.
Yeah, what happened is,
Better.
the Julius Perry property is at the end of Ramp Lane, and for years it's been a headache. For years we've had all sorts of violations. For years he's cleaned some of the stuff up, and then a year later he had more than he cleaned up before. And he passed away several months ago, and we sent a violation to his wife and gave her a time frame. She asked for an extension, which we gave her, and she's made significant progress in cleaning up the property. It isn't complete yet, but it's gone a long way. At least it's not as big an eyesore as it has been. So, as far as that house goes, I don't know what they're going to do with the house. The house is a monstrosity that will be very difficult or challenging for them to deal with, especially if they want to try and sell it. But that's something they'll have to deal with.
John,
Yes, sir.
the property on Irving East,
Yes.
any update on that?
The gentleman who owns the property, his name's
Talking about 625,
Is that the one with the 3 cars? Yeah. The
Oh,
owner's
it's got
name.
the camper and.
Yep. Yeah, the owner's name is Charles Irvin. He's an older gentleman. And he contacted us and he asked for an extension of time, which we gave him until July 15th to clean everything up, clean all the garbage, get rid of the junk vehicles. He has not made any progress to date. What I am doing is I am preparing a list of companies, junkyards and stuff that actually will retrieve junk vehicles from someone's property. If you get them the title, they'll give you a couple $100 for them. Just try to do stuff to help them, to get rid of the vehicles, because we will impound the vehicles. And if we impound them, then we sell them and we take whatever money we can get for them. He gets nothing. And it costs us, well, we get the money back through impounding and stuff. Eventually we sell them, but it's more beneficial for him just to call some junk company to come and pick them up and give them $75, $80, haul them away for free. So I'm preparing a list of companies that do that. I'll send it to him probably by the end of this week. Hopefully that will help them. If not, then we will react ourselves. We'll call somebody to impound it. And then we'll have to clean up the yard after that.
Make sure that's clear when you communicate to them that, you know, if you don't contact these people and have them pay you to get rid of this, then we'll do it and you won't get anything.
Yeah, I will. I'll make that very clear.
Okay.
And so we try to give people an avenue to get out. You know, it's not our goal to prosecute people. It's not our goal to take action ourselves. We will if we have to, but we try to give them every reasonable opportunity to clean it up on their own.
It's not, you're not allowed to park open, just plain trailers on the streets and anything.
The way the ordinance is written is if it is less than 20 feet in length, you can park it on the street, but if it's greater than 20 feet in length, you cannot. We passed an ordinance 10, 11 years ago because a lot of people were parking big boat trailers and campers on the street, making them impassable or dangerous. And we came up with that 20 feet. If you exceed it, it cannot be parked in the street.
There's one parked over there, it's really a nuisance in the dark because you can't see it.
Where's that at?
On Whispering Pine.
Do you think it's greater than 20 feet?
Huh?
Is it greater than 20 feet?
I haven't been up, the guy just told me, you know.
Well, what you do is the police department enforces that violation. So just to give them a call, they will go over there and do it. I've called several in. The people have called to me and have taken care of it. They're pretty good at pursuing that. Anything else? I can take my time. We got plenty of time. Item number 7, grass violations and property maintenance violations. This time of year, we get a lot of them, and we've got a lot now. We've had about 4 or 5, I'd say 5 properties cut so far, including next door here, Wintergrad. And,
Did they do that or did we have to do that?
we did it.
Really?
Yeah, we sent them a letter. They didn't respond, so we cut it.
What are we doing with the hay?
Well, the gentleman that cut it for us actually came back and recut it again.
Yeah.
Into smaller hay.
Yeah.
Um,
Jeez, I couldn't believe that.
But, yeah,
that was deep.
it was, and
Did you have to send a letter to the residents across the entrance to high school?
yes, I did.
I'm just curious.
J.P. Morgan or something was the gentleman's name.
I'm
Yeah.
just curious.
Yeah, we did.
Jeez. JP Morgan. Just something like that.
You know, these families, dirt poor people, they own railroads, banks. But his name was Morgan. Yeah, I think it was J.P. Morgan or something like that. And now he is cutting it. I went by today and he's cutting, I think he's got lawnmower problems.
Yeah, you know what that's a get to.
I'll tell you what, considering the small number of people we got in the street department, I think the city's doing a pretty good job. They got off to a slightly slow start because they were still doing a lot of other stuff, but doing a pretty manageable job between them and the Parks Department and cutting the city properties. So yeah, I think they are. I mean, it's not gonna be this high, it might be this high, but they're on it. They got a slow start, but they're on it now, and they've made up a lot of lost money. Any other questions? Finally, item number 8, our Star Spangled Celebration, and I would like to thank several council members in this room and non-council members for helping us. The committee is doing well, we're getting things aligned, they're falling into place. If the weather, and I think the weather will be good this year, is the way it should be, I think we'll have a very good event. Next year, we're gonna have to come up with another way to do the event. I think there will be some, including myself, will be non-participants. We can have the fireworks, that won't be a problem. But if you want the event in the park next year, probably sometime soon after the end of this event, we may want to sit down and put something together to see if we can have people continue with it next year. You know. But right now, it's looking very good. We've got a good group of people. It looks like we're going to have a substantial number of volunteers. Jeff's got the parking. Doug's going to help with the parking. Deborah's got all the inflatables under control. She'll be doing demonstrations on the bouncies and stuff like that.
Can you rephrase that?
Show how it works. The kitty rides. Okay. But it's looking good. So, and that's all I have, unless anyone has any questions. Yes, sir.
I have 2 questions. First one, I understand that we put the maintenance of the routes, and this might have been asked while I was gone, I apologize, about the maintenance up on 79 for the landscape, and then I think you got 1 bid and they returned because supposedly we did it the wrong way. Can you?
Yes, we got 1 bid, which we did not open and we returned. There was confusion regarding bids and proposals and everything like that. And I think I did a very poor job in managing that. So what we decided to do, we talked it over with Heath, and we put it out for a rebid. And I don't remember the dates. I think it's next week. We're having a pre-bid meeting, and then a week after that, we'll have the bid openings to perform that maintenance.
Good, so you're gonna have a meeting with all the people that want
Yes.
it, that's great.
Yeah. And you might have missed that Bob Geller's people did a very nice job
Yeah.
in including that. So yeah, so let's see what happens next.
All right, and the other question was, and I don't wanna say any names unless you tell me you haven't heard. I hear that somebody may be moving or is moving into the old Heath Motorsports facility. Can you say anything about that yet, or no? Just curious. Okay.
No. At this point, I think I should decline any comment and let it go.
That's fine, then.
There are a lot of things that are in the development pipeline in the city that we're prohibited from discussing because there are contracts involved, and if public information were presented, it could cause a problem with contracts and everything else. So all I can do is answer no at this point. I can't. No, something may be going on, something may not. I just can't comment on that.
Okay.
Come on, John, tell him it's Hooters.
You think you'd fall for it twice? Is there anything else I can't comment on?
Anybody have any more questions? 5:58.
Good work. Now, could have Eddie done better than this? Really?
Yes. 15 minutes ago.
You wanna do that? Well, then we can get a big break at
Yeah.
it, right?
Do finance.
You got one?
I'm gonna go walk the bike path for a while.
That's a good idea. It's a nice cool evening.
I know, but it's perfect for it. Yeah.
Good idea. I might do that.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the other one.
You went for a
I got
swim?
two of these.
No, walk the bike path.
I know getting on the bike after this big meeting.
They already done that.
Have enough time.
Okay.
Yeah.
The actual building.
Yeah.
A little more detail. Nobody got a copy that wants a copy or needs a copy or?
If you got an extra.
Is
If you
there
got
an
an
extra copy?
Yes, absolutely. Here, have a couple.
Oh, we need one.
One more down here.
One, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay, it is 6:00 on the dot. We will call finance to order. Take a break. First item, zoning transfer of funds. $2,500 from general fund transfer to service. Building repair to cover costs associated with, no,
That's number 2.
transfer $4,900 from zoning. Engineering to the other equipment. Purchase some new computers we discussed a few minutes ago. The new triangle here. Everybody's up with that?
Yep.
Down with that, up with that. Appropriate funds for tree maintenance, second item, $2,500. Cover costs associated with that. Any further questions on that? Third item. So is it 415 or is it 405?
415.
Okay. Authorize the mayor enter a contract with Spires Paving Company and appropriate $415,825.96. Make that correction on your agenda.
Sorry about that.
Okay. Pave certain streets within the city, which basically is Willow Ridge and a few others, right?
Franklin and, yeah, a few of the others. A couple in Forest Hills didn't get hit a few years ago.
Questions, comments on that? Make a note of
415.
It is 415, not 405, okay? Under other items, Keith, you want to take
The
it
first
from here?
item I've already covered in reference to the computers. And the second item, you may recall that at the last council meeting that Tax Commissioner Geller commented that the Assistant Tax Commissioner Bev Shepard had completed her associate's degree in accounting. During the period of time that she's been with the city of Heath, she has had a perfect 4.0. And of course, part of the collective bargaining agreement is reimbursement for tuition and books. And so she had some schooling in before that was not quite a 4.0, but awful close. And I have submitted to her a letter of commendation and have copied her personnel file in regards to that. I really believe that she will likely be your next tax commissioner. She's doing a great job. That's all I have.
Anything else for finance? 3 minutes.
You want to do caucus and then we can have a long break?
Let's do it.
Who's doing invocation? Is that Cletus's turn? Me. Cletus, your hand. Okay. Petition communications, we got utilities. So, Mr. Morrow, will you make the motion to send them on to the auditor and then also make a motion to receive and file?
Yes.
Going down to introduction of ordinances, the pool funds, Debbie, you do that? Or wait, do we need to waive that or anything, or just let it go on second reading?
I don't think we need to waive it.
Okay, so we're just hold it.
I don't remember.
And then just dispose of the old street signs. Do we want to waive that so we can start getting rid of them, or not?
You can or not, either way.
Just let both of them go to the next
Yeah,
reading.
I'm not particularly inclined
Okay.
to push it, so.
Yeah, no reason to. Okay. Okay, so go down to 43, 2013, the graphics for the cruiser, so that'd be Brian. Any discussion on that or anything? Everyone's agree with that? Then the next is the proceeds. Did that get all straightened out as far as Keith, the auction? I mean, it's worded in such a way that it's, the police stuff goes to the police stuff and the other stuff goes to other.
I think so.
Okay, because we had it mixed up before.
Had to redo that.
Okay, so Brian, you do that one too? Sure. All right. That's all. We gotta have a public hearing on that 45, so that's why it's not on there yet, because you don't have a public hearing until next meeting in June. And then we have the reading of the bids, and that's about it.
Question,
Yes.
on ordinance 36, what do we, I might not have wrote the right thing on it, but didn't we read 36 on 520? That's the one with
46?
Miller, the Richard Miller property. Did we move on with that, or what did we do with that?
We had to amend it, the one we had,
The agricultural district.
yeah, we had to
was
reconsider and then
amended.
amend it to be agricultural instead of CAU. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, good, yeah.
Yeah, we,
That was 2 weeks ago, or
Yeah.
whenever we did that, right? Last
Yeah.
meeting.
And we got through it and everything's done.
yeah, yeah. We reconsidered it, and then once we reconsidered it, we amended it, and once we amended it, we adopted it as amended. Yeah.
Three things that was, I think Cletus did that.
Yeah,
Yeah, you did.
we just did.
Cletus, how many of these things are in each of these packets?
I don't know, I thought she said 5, and I got
there's
two
more than
minutes,
that.
but there's more than 5.
In the minutes.
There's at least 10.
Just take them home with them, whatever, you know.
I'm gonna have Kent take a couple down to the advocate. You wanna do that, pass them
I got
around?
some for him already.
Oh, did you give him some already?
I got them for him.
Did you go in there? Come on. Friends and family? Say what?
Oh, no, I don't think that.
I'm gonna lay them out down there if they like. That one lady told me to burn her some, I don't know her name.
Nice
Go,
graduation.
spend money. Go, spend money. Oh, railroad tracks should be this Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday be closed. Should
Okay.
be.
The sign says.
Did anyone look at the one going that way? Did they get the message board fixed going towards Newark? Because earlier today it was just like a garbled mess. Come the other way, you could read it, and it told you it was going to be closed.
3 o'clock it wasn't working.
Okay.
There was,
Because I told someone they were supposed to call the guy and have him fix it, but I don't know whether they ever got the call through. So I may call him again tomorrow.
I know the Looper family.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Monday.
It'll be closed.
Closed.
Okay,
Hopefully they'd be done sometime Monday.
okay.
And then I don't know when Caucus will come back and do their concrete work and stuff.
This family in town over the weekend for their 50th anniversary. They're from Florida. They used to live off of Franklin. And he looked me up. He said, I've never seen a prettier thoroughfare than 79. He said, tell the mayor congratulations.
It was after the weeding then.
Well, he said he just likes it. He likes the new paint, you know, the new water line, everything. So say, there's ones that wanted water up on Franklin.
Is that one of those situations that's really
Huh?
pretty, but I wouldn't want to live there? Is that one of those situations where it's really pretty, but I wouldn't want to live there?
Do what?
One of those situations where they would love to.
Looks nice, but I don't want to live there.
I think I might take a walk on the walking path too. That's not a bad idea. Anybody else want to go?
No.